There is a kind of drive that refuses to quiet down, a stubbornness that doesn't bend even when the world insists that it should. Some people call it obsession, others call it madness, but for a few individuals, it is simply the only way they know how to leave. It is the refusal to quit, the refusal to back down, the refusal to imagine a world where giving up is an option. For some, that fire begins early. At 11 years old, long before the world took notice, long before any path felt clear, the decision was already made. I'm going to be a YouTuber, and if it takes my whole life, then so be it. There was no backup plan, no safety net, no alternative dream waiting quietly in the corner. There was just the goal and a willingness to chase it to the very end. Call it competitive, call it stubborn, but at its core, it's something even simpler and an unbreakable commitment to a future no one else could see. A love for complex, difficult, unending problems. A desire to wake up every day and wrestle with something that refuses to be solved easily. That is the spark that gets certain people out of bed. The harder the challenge, the more alive they feel. The bigger the mountain, the more determined they become. And if there is one superpower that defines this mindset, it is obsession. The ability to lock onto a single goal and think about it longer, deeper, and more intensely than anyone else. To return to the same problem every day with fresh focus. To turn over every angle. To weather every setback. Obsession is the engine that pushes breakthroughs. It is the fuel that sustains the effort long after everyone else walks away. Looking back over a decade of struggle, growth, and breakthroughs, a few core truths emerge. Obsession is one. But there are others. The people you choose to surround yourself with matter. Energy is contagious, discipline is contagious, excellence is contagious. When you stand beside the right people, your standard rises. When you're surrounded by those who are hungry, curious, relentless, something in you sharpens, something in you wakes up. Another truth is extreme ownership. Taking responsibility even when excuses feel justified, even when circumstances seem out of your control, even when the world hands you reasons to surrender. Ownership means asking yourself what you could have done differently, how you could have prepared better, how you could have cared more. It's not about blame, it's about power. Because the moment you take ownership is the moment you reclaim control. And running alongside all of this is a simple belief: nothing is impossible. If physics allows it, if reality does not forbid it, then the question is not can it be done, but will you put in the time? The world complicates everything, but most limits are excuses. Most barriers are illusions created by people who are too tired, too scared, or too distracted to keep going. If you want to master a craft, build something great, or transform your life, you need a deep love for the process. A willingness to push through boredom and frustration. The reminder that how you feel in your hardest moments is the reason most people never reach their potential. And each time you push through that barrier, you reinforce something in yourself that cannot be taken away. To be successful in any field, certain traits become essential. Coachability is one. The world changes fast, and the strategies that work today will evolve tomorrow. If you cling to ego, you get left behind. You must be willing to learn, refine, improve, and reinvent. You must see the value in long-term growth. You must understand that the best opportunities are found not in quick gains, but in sustained commitment. Another trait is obsession, that constant hunger to go deeper. And beyond obsession is the willingness to be all in, to treat your work not as a job, but as a long-term investment. Success demands time.
Not weeks, not months.
Years, decades. Consistency compounds, mastery compounds, loyal, dedicated teamwork compounds. When you invest deeply in people who stay, the results echo for years. But just as important as the traits that build success are the traits that destroy it. And perhaps the most dangerous of them all is mediocrity. Not the kind of failure that's obvious, but the subtle, quiet, half-hearted effort that drags culture downward. Mediocrity is contagious. Place a few complacent minds among greatness, and they begin to dull the edge of everyone around them. Excellence thrives in the presence of excellence. Energy rises when surrounded by high standards. But mediocrity drains, it pulls at the edges. It erodes the belief that extraordinary is possible. That is why leaders must guard their teams. People don't leave jobs because of money. They leave because of culture, because of who they are surrounded by. Great people want to work with great people. They want to push, create, grow, and build with others who share their fire. That environment fuels ambition, it shapes identity. It makes the impossible feel achievable. Behind the public story, behind the spotlight, there are private battles that shape everything: childhood challenges, financial struggles, a single mother working 2 jobs to keep the family afloat, days when health failed, when the body refused to cooperate, when life felt heavier than it should for a kid. These moments create a perspective that doesn't fade. They become the quiet engine behind every late, every idea, every push. And in the middle of all of this, a young kid with obsession in his eyes insisted on a dream that seemed ridiculous to everyone else. A kid who didn't care about homework, who didn't care about the safe road, who didn't understand why anyone would settle for ordinary when something extraordinary was possible. It created conflict, tension, misunderstanding, but it also created drive, and eventually it created a reality that no one could deny. As success came, the first priority was simple: take care of the person who sacrificed everything. Give back, repay every hour, every struggle, every moment of fear, because no one rises alone, even if the journey feels lonely. The desire to become a YouTuber wasn't born out of fame or attention. It began with the realization that people were making real money on the platform, that this path could lift a family, could change a life, could open doors that had been closed for years. It began with joy, genuine joy found in creating. It grew with the desire to repay a mother who worked herself into exhaustion. And beyond all of that, it lived in the simple truth that people are complex. Motivation is never just one thing. Passion is never singular. Humans are layered, driven by countless quiet threads that intertwine to form purpose. Obsession becomes the foundation. Consistency becomes the shield. The ability to think about the same problem every day becomes the differentiator. There were days when the work lasted 18 hours straight, thinking, strategizing, analyzing why some videos worked and others didn't. There were nights when sleep was optional and progress wasn't. It wasn't sacrifice, it was instinct. It didn't feel like work. It felt like breathing. But even with obsession, even with passion, there are moments when the weight feels heavy, when burnout whispers, when the treadmill of constant output feels endless, when the mind wonders what it would be like to step off for a while, to rest, to breathe, to simply exist without pressure. The thought of quitting appears, not because the journey isn't worth it, but because the human body and mind sometimes reach their limit. Still, the commitment remains. Maybe a break is tempting, maybe sleep feels overdue. But fully quitting, truly stopping, that has never been an option. Because the dream isn't optional, the mission isn't optional, the desire to create the best videos in the world isn't optional. This is the life chosen. And though it is demanding, though it is exhausting, it is also purposeful. The future stretches long, not a few years, not a decade, but decades of creation, decades of innovation, decades of pushing platforms forward. The belief is not that it's possible. The belief is that it's inevitable. Because obsession doesn't fade, curiosity doesn't dim, the hunger to solve the next impossible problem only deepens. To stand out, you must become the purple cow, the idea that shocks people into curiosity, the concept that has never been done before. Most ideas blend together. Most efforts look the same, but originality breaks through. And originality is hard. If something has never been done before, there's a reason. It requires innovation. It requires risk. It requires a willingness to suffer through complexity. But the reward is exponential. One great idea can reach 50 million people. One unforgettable concept can echo across continents. This is the formula. Chase what hasn't been done. Solve the hardest problems. Run toward complexity. Not away from it. Embrace discomfort. Most creators slow down after success. Most take the money and ease off the gas. Most choose comfort, not growth. That is why so few reach the top. That is why so few stay there. And that is why some people, the rare few, will continue creating, pushing, stretching for decades to come, because the mission is bigger than comfort, bigger than ease, bigger than the fear of burnout. It is the relentless pursuit of something extraordinary. And for those with the stubbornness to never quit, the obsession to outthink everyone else, and the willingness to suffer for long stretches of time, the future holds no limits. The path will be difficult. The pressure will be heavy. But the vision will remain clear. Build something no one has ever seen. Create the impossible. And keep going long after everyone else stops.